Picture the scene, you're carousing through the streets of London, you're in Borough Market, you're pretending you're Bridget Jones, you're picking up delicious fruits and veg, and then you spot a queue. So you get closer, you check it out, and it's for the Black Pig. What they're churning out, these beautiful ciabatta rolls stuffed with pulled pork, smoked Scamorza cheese, fennel and apple slaw, tomato and basil passata, and you're like, I've got to get me some of that. But you don't join the queue, you go home, you watch this video, you make your own. Let's do it. Okay, it's a lovely autumnal day here in the UK. Pretty chilly start, but it's going to be a beautiful day later. So this is a glorious piece of pork shoulder that I got from the butchers. At the Black Pig in Borough Market, they cook this on a Kamado grill, so I'm going to do the same. But you could, of course, just slow roast this in the oven. First thing I'm going to do is cut away the skin on the top. It's already scored. I'm going to stick it in the oven on a really high heat for like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and make some lovely crackling to go on the side. But also going to make sure I leave a little bit of a layer of fat on top of the meat. Rub I'm putting on is just fennel seed, salt and black pepper. I'm probably going to take, if I had 12 hours, I'd put this on for about 110 degrees C and just let it go all day. I've got about 6 hours, so I'm going to put it on 135 degrees C. It's still going to be super tender and super good. For this sandwich, the bread, it's all about the ciabatta. I love ciabatta. This super airy, crunchy but chewy, amazing Italian roll. Often done so badly, but when you make it fresh, it is something else. Traditionally, Italian ciabatta is made with what they call a biga, which is essentially a starter. It's made with a small amount of yeast and flour, leave it overnight, add it to your dough when you're making it in the morning, and it helps it rise even more. But we're going to do a slightly quicker version. We're going to make it without the starter, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be airy, but chewy and crusty. It's going to be amazing. So this is how we do it. Stand mixer. Now, the thing with this dough is it's super, super wet. It needs to be really, really wet to get the air that you need in it. You do kind of need a stand mixer. I wouldn't recommend doing this by hand. This is to make 2 loaves, okay? And I'm putting in 200 grams of flour, 5 grams of yeast, 5 grams of salt, 20 ml of good quality olive oil. Just going to get that mixing a little bit first. Ooh. And then I'm going to slowly add my water. I've got 200 ml of tepid water here, which will get the yeast nice and activated. Turns out I didn't mix it in that slowly after all. I'm going to leave this to mix for about 6 minutes or so, maybe 8 minutes. Then I'm going to stick it in this bowl with oil, leave it till it's doubled, even trebled in size. You want this as airy as possible, so maybe like 2 hours in a warm place. Okay, this has been in a warm place for 3 hours, and it is trebled, possibly even quadrupled in size. And it is delightfully sloppy. This is going to be really hard to work with. I'm going to put some flour down just to give myself a fighting chance. You can almost pour it out. I don't really want to knock this back at all because it's got so much air in it. It's amazing. Cut it in half. Vague attempts to shape it into a kind of ciabatta loaf. Okay, I'm going to throw a tea towel over these, leave them about 15 more minutes just to give a bit more rising time. Then it's going to go in the oven, 220 degrees centigrade, 25 minutes. You got your ciabatta. Now let's make a super simple slaw. It's literally half a cabbage, a whole fennel, and a whole apple in a blender, just roughly chopped. Now we're going to make the vinaigrette dressing. Juice of a whole lemon. Fish out the seeds because I didn't plan ahead. Let's go a teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of sugar. 2 teaspoons white wine vinegar. Everything's roughly. Give it a little stirry stir. Mix the vinaigrette up with your shredded veg. Now I'm just going to stick this in the fridge and wait for the beautiful flavours to meld together. There comes a time in everyone's life where they really have to stand up for what they believe in. The time is now. Garlic mayonnaise is garlic mayonnaise. Aoli is garlic and oil. Crush up 4 garlic cloves, large garlic cloves into a large paste. Keep crushing, guys. Tiny little bits of olive oil and then working it into the garlic to create that emulsion. Emulsion just really means fat drops suspended in water. In this case, the water's in the garlic, the fat is the olive oil. And we're going to mix them together until they suspend together and become all creamy and super garlicky. A little pinch of salt. A little bit of vinegar. You could use lemon juice as well. This is just a bit of acid. Okay, looking good. Okay, I'm going to end this off the grill. It's hit a target temp of about 90 degrees centigrade right in the middle. I'm going to leave this to rest for about 15 minutes, wrapped tightly in foil. Ciabatta, fresh out the oven, chewy, crusty, beautiful. Now this sandwich gets its name from smoked Scamorza, which is this. It's an Italian cheese. The smoked version is absolutely delicious. I'm going to cut some slices off. Before we go much further, I'm going to toast these under the grill. Okay, the ciabatta is off the grill. It's hot. Start with the aoli. You don't need a lot of this stuff. It's super pungent. Now I'm going to add my fennel, apple, chives, vinaigrette, slaw. Next up, the pork. Let's be generous. Let's make a mess. On this side, I'm going to spread some basil passata. I always make this stuff, so I've got it in the fridge. But basically, if you want to make it, get some oil, saute some garlic, throw in a tin of really good tomatoes, crush up some basil, bit of salt, cook it down until it's nice and thick. Use it on literally everything. Say bye. That is absolutely immense.